got you, babe. When the world grows cold and gray, and they try to strip your strength away, babe, I'll be right here every single day, with my love to light your way. When your mind feel like it's spinning, think you're losing what you're winning, you just fall right into me. I'm your sanctuary, baby. Ooh, yes. I'll be your peace. When they throw dirt on your name, I'll speak. When you're bent but not broke, baby, I'll hold your hope. Right here standing with your crown. When the world try to break you down, oh, let your burdens release. Come on home to me. I'll be your peace, your peace. I'll be. Yeah. Oh, I got you, babe. When the world grows cold and gray, and they try to strip your strength away, babe, I'll be right here every single day, with my love to light your way. When your mind feel like it's spinning, think you're losing what you're winning, you just fall right into me. I'm your sanctuary, baby. Ooh, yes. I'll be your peace. When they throw dirt on your name, I'll speak. When you're bent but not broke, baby, I'll hold your hope. Right here standing with your crown. When the world try to break you down, oh, let your burdens release. Come on home to me. I'll be your peace, your peace. I'll be. You ain't gotta fight alone. Babe, this house is your throne. got you, babe. When the world grows cold and gray, and they try to strip your strength away, babe, I'll be right here every single day, with my love to light your way. When your mind feel like it's spinning, think you're losing what you're winning, you just fall right into me. I'm your sanctuary, baby. Ooh, yes. I'll be your peace. When they throw dirt on your name, I'll speak. When you're bent but not broke, baby, I'll hold your hope. Right here standing with your crown. When the world try to break you down, oh, love, let your burdens release. Come on home to me. I'll be your peace, your peace. I'll be. You ain't gotta fight alone, babe. This house is your throne. Every lion need a safe space to roam, and my love will always be your home. When your hands too tired to pray, just lay 'em on me anyway. I'll lift you up, I'll intercede, because I know what my king needs, and I do. Yes, I do. Hey. They don't see the weight behind your pride, but I feel it when you lay by my side. Your silence speaks, don't need a sign.
All right, hey, shalom, 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 Yabashim Yashai Barakatham. All praises to the Most High God. We give all honor, glory to the Most High God. Thanking Him for this day that He's given us, thanking Him for His grace, for His mercy, um, for all that He's done for us in keeping us. Today is Tuesday on the calendar, the second day, so-called Tuesday. And tonight we are going to be looking at taking off the mask. This is going to be a two-part teaching. Today we are going to deal with the first part, and then we're going to continue with the second part on the morning or at the beginning of the Shabbat. If you look on the page, you see that there's already a class listed. So we're going to do part 2 to this. I'm going to try to get through as much information as I can, so we don't have to really cover a lot on the Shabbat. But all praise to the Most High, the water, to our Abba again for everything that He does. Now, going into taking the mask off, we all walk around with some type of mask on. At some point in time, we're all walking around with a mask. We live in a world where appearances they matter more than reality, especially in the age of social media, when you have Instagram, you have Facebook, you have TikTok, and a plethora of other social media platforms. People display lives that they are not actually living, that they don't actually live. People live by statements like fake it till you make it. I've heard that saying numerous times. I've even said it myself in the past. Fake it till you make it, right? Why do you have to fake it until you make it, right? But nevertheless, people put masks on. People put masks on pretending to be stronger than they are. They put masks on pretending to be more righteous than they are. Um, they put masks on to appear to be more put together than they actually are. Now, I want you to just stop and think about that for a second, because at the end of the day, we are all fighting a battle. We're all fighting some kind of battle. We're all struggling to get better. We all, hopefully, we all are seeking to become better people, better individuals. So, with that being said, with us looking to become better individuals, a lot of times because of social media, we want to make it look like and seem like we have it all together. People post, all the best things about their lives, and I say that with a grain of salt, because there are some people that really put, the bad times that they're going through out on social media as well too. But for the majority, people are putting out their or broadcasting lives that they're not necessarily living. And you have this envy. There's a lot of envy nowadays. There's a lot of envy of the lives that other people promote that they're not actually living, especially when you start to think about entertainers and things such as that. So you have, these rap artists who put out their these extravagant lives that they aren't really living, and then you have people trying to emulate those lifestyles, trying to live up to what those entertainers are putting out there. The thing is, you can put on whatever mask that you want to fool people, but if the spirit is ugly, the truth is going to come out. It don't matter how you step outside. The truth is going to come out regardless. You can't mask and hide the truth. I'm going to grab a precept. This is the book of Matthew, chapter 7, and we're going to get verse 16. Matthew chapter 7 and verse number 16. It says, in fact, I start at verse 15. It says, beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. Ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So the context of this, what it's talking about, well, specifically what this is talking about, this is talking about the leaders. All right, this is talking about prophets or false prophets. Now, in the sense of false prophets, it's talking about people. It's not talking about literal trees. And it's saying that you shall know them by their fruits. It says a corrupt tree can't bring forth good fruit, and a good tree can't bring forth corrupt fruit. Let me grab another one here real quick. We're going to get the book of Psalms. And if you have your pen, Salakia, if you have your pen, paper, take notes. Of course, you can follow me along in your Bible. Follow me along as I go through the scriptures. Again, it's going to be a lot of information. This definitely is a teaching. And we need more teaching, especially in the days that we're living in. We need more teaching. We need more correction, not just teaching on the dark things, the deeper mysteries, but we need to be teaching on cleaning people up, cleaning our people up, preparing the bride for the coming Messiah, preparing the bride for the coming King. You know, we're focusing a lot on, you know, those deep mysteries, and everybody wants to be deep, and it's nothing wrong with that. But what good does it do to be deep and to know all of the hidden little mysteries that's in the text if you're still filthy and you're not cleaned up? I'm going to grab a precept on that real quick. This is the book of Matthew chapter 7 and verse number 21. Not every one that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Not everybody is going to make it into the kingdom. Plenty of people sit up here and are under the illusion that they are actually serving and worshiping the Most High God. And it's an illusion. Why is it an illusion? It's an illusion because they believe it, but the reality is they're not actually following after the Most High God. And so Yahweh says it's going to be many in that day that say unto him, Lord, Lord. Or in fact, Salakia, let me backtrack. Read verse number 21 again. Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Verse number 22. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name, and in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? You're going to be done all of this. You're going to be did all these great works. You know, made the blind see, made the deaf hear, and that's speaking spiritually. Because a lot of our people are spiritually blind. A lot of our people are deaf, can't hear. They have eyes but do not see. They have ears but do not hear. They're spiritually blind and they're spiritually deaf. They can't see and they can't hear. So many of us go out and we're doing the teaching. We're teaching our brothers. We're teaching our sisters. And we're causing the blind to see. We're causing the deaf to hear. And Yahushua is telling us that many are going to say that we've done all of these wonderful works. I've been out preaching your word. I've called through the Spirit. I've made plenty people, you know, repent, turn from their wicked ways. And what does Yahushua say? He says, and then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. You done all of this, but the king don't even know you. Let me grab another precept real quick on this. And Salakia, I'm gonna flow with the Spirit. This isn't what I really wanted to teach on. Well, it is, but I didn't. These are precepts that I didn't have in my lesson plan. But I'm gonna go with the Spirit. Where the Spirit moves me, where the Spirit leads me. Because again, many people are going to be saying, we did this, we did that. And Yahweh Shai is going to say, I never knew you. Depart from me. Now watch this. This is the book of the 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse number 27. It says, but I keep under my body and bring it into subjection, lest that by any means, when I have preached to others, I myself should be a castaway. This is what Paul is saying. And if Paul is worried about it, why aren't we worried about these things? Don't think that now that you know that you're an Israelite, you are good, you're free and clear. No, the work just started. And not just the work and going out there preaching the gospel, teaching the gospel, but the work just started for yourself. Because you have to ensure In fact, you have to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. You have to work out your own salvation. We all do. I have to work out my own salvation. My daughters have to work out their own salvation. My mother, my sisters, everybody have to work out their own salvation. I can't save nobody. I can barely save myself. In fact, I can't even save myself. It's Yahweh Shai that saves it. Right? So let me go and finish this off again one more time. The book of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 21. I'm going to read it all the way through. It says, "Not everyone that saith unto me, Lord, Lord, shall enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he that doeth the will of my Father which is in heaven. Many will say to me in that day, Lord, Lord, have we not prophesied in thy name? And in thy name have cast out devils, and in thy name done many wonderful works? And then will I profess unto them, I never knew you. Depart from me, ye that work iniquity." And so that's a cool, smooth cut to anybody that says that the law is done away with. We don't have to keep the law anymore. Because iniquity, when you look that up in the Greek, what does it mean? It means lawless. He's saying, you without law, depart from me, because you didn't keep no laws. You wasn't keeping the commandments. But now it goes deeper than just keeping the commandments, and Yahweh Shai came up on the scene to express that to us, that it becomes a heart issue. Because you can keep all of the commandments, but your heart still be off. You can be keeping the commandments and still be wicked. Internally, in your mind, you're still wicked. So you're going through the motions, but your heart is messed up. Let me get this precept in the book of Psalms, because we was talking about the trees and the fruit. And we was talking about good fruit. And we was talking about corrupt fruit. And the understanding that when it's talking about fruit and when it's talking about trees, it's not talking about little trees, and it's not talking about literal fruit. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 1, verse 1. "Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor standeth in the way of sinners, nor sitteth in the seat of the scornful, but his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law doth he meditate day and night." How do we change? How do we change our mind? How do we change our thought process? How do we become that new creation? There's only one way. There's only one way to become something new. There's only one way to change your thought process, to change the way that you think. It's only one way to do that. And that is, your delight becomes the law. That becomes your delight. Your delight becomes studying. And through that study, right? Because faith comes by hearing, hearing by the word of the Most High God, right? Your delight is in the law. Your delight is in these scriptures, and you meditate on it day and night. That's what makes the change. And if you're not reading, and if you're not studying, if you're not applying yourself to the scriptures, there's not going to be any change. You're deceiving yourself. You're lying to yourself. Verse number 3, "And he shall be like a tree planted by the rivers of water, that bringeth forth his fruit in his season." So the fruit, he's going to bring forth that fruit because he's planted by the waters. What's the water? The water is the word. He's planted, he's meditating on the word day and night. He, she, that's interchangeable. You are not going to change if you are not applying yourself to these scriptures. If you're not studying these scriptures, you are not going to change. Point blank, period. In the story. So you have to meditate. You have to make the time to meditate. And that goes back to what we was just talking about on the Shabbat, is making the time. Because what you love, you're going to make time for. Too many of our people profess with their mouth. They say that I love God, but you don't make no time for God. You don't spend no time with God. You're not reading the scriptures. You barely pick up and open your Bible. You're not studying. Yeah. How do you display your love when you don't spend no time with the word of the Most High God? And you walk out, and we put on the mask though. We put on the mask to make it look, it look good. It sound good. I can speak the talk. I can talk the talk. But what are you doing to really affect change? To really change the culture that may be in your house, or just to change you, to be the light, that's shining in darkness. Are you the darkness that come to try to put the light out? So it says, you shall know them. Matthew 7:16. He said, you shall know them by their fruit. What fruit is it talking about? Well, we talked about this on the Sabbath as well too. The fruit. The fruit, we find the fruit in Galatians. In the book of Galatians, chapter 5. Let's get there, because I want to break this down. We didn't really go off into it too heavy on the Shabbat, but we finna look at it now. Because we're studying to show ourselves approved, to effect change, to see change in our lives. I don't want to be the same person that I was yesterday. I don't want to be the same person that I was last week. I don't want to be the same person that I was 5 hours ago. I want to be continually evolving and changing. Evolving and changing. One of the best quotes that I heard was from Muhammad Ali, and he said, a man who thinks the same at 40 as he thought when he was 20, that's a man that's wasted 20 years of life. And if you aren't changing, that means you're not growing. So we want to see growth. And I want to affect growth, not just in myself, but in the people that I teach as well. Because at the end of the day, I will be held accountable to what I don't teach, what I say, what I don't say, if I'm not truly calling on people to change. If I'm not just holding myself accountable, because it starts with me first. I have to hold myself accountable. Then it's holding you accountable. So the fruits. We're going to go to Galatians. Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5. I'll start at verse number 17. All right. Galatians 5:17. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other. You got that internal war. It's a war that's going on inside. It's a battle that's going on inside. Just like Paul said, that, hey, the things that I want to do, those things I don't do. The things that I don't want to do, those things that I do. Paul said, oh, wretched man that I am. It was that internal battle, that internal fight going on, because you got the flesh and then you got the spirit, and they warring against each other. Verse 18, but if ye be led of the spirit, ye are not under the law. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Now we're dealing with the fruits, right? The fruits, the bad fruit, the corrupt fruit, the fruit that's coming of that fleshly nature. right? Those are the fruits that we are dealing with. It says, Matthew 7:16 says, "Ye shall know them by their fruits." What fruits? All right, let's read it. It says, adultery. We know what adultery is. Adultery is a married man sleeping with a Salakia. Adultery is a man sleeping with a married woman, or a married woman sleeping with another man who is not her husband. That's adultery. Point blank, period. Smooth and clean. Fornication. Now, fornication, we're going to break fornication down and see what fornication actually is. Shalom, Amma. Call Tawab. Call Tawab. Call halal that you made in here. Right? So fornication. What is fornication? Fornication, when we break that down and define fornication, fornication is illicit sexual intercourse. What does that mean? Illicit sexual intercourse is intercourse that's one, forbidden by law, is forbidden by rules, or is forbidden by customs. Now, when we're talking about law, we're talking about the laws according to the Most High. So fornication is going to be illicit sexual intercourse. Adultery. We just defined what adultery is. Adultery is a married woman sleeping to sleeping with another man. A married woman sleeping with another man that is not her husband. That's adultery. Look at my Banaf sitting up there speaking Hebrew. All praises to the Most High. All right, so adultery is a married woman sleeping with another man who is not her husband. All praises, all praises, all praises to the Most High. Got the Pakwat Dawada in the room. Shalom, King. Right. Adultery is a married woman sleeping with another man who is not her husband. Shalom, shalom. All praises. Gamon in the building. Right? That's adultery. Now, fornication of homosexuality. Homosexuality is fornication. All right. What else we got? We got lesbianism. A woman sleeping with a woman. Fornication. Intercourse with animals. Right? And you see that with nasty Esau. Shalom, King. Shalom. All praise to the Most High. Right? Esau does that. Sleeps with animals. Sleeps with dogs. Sleeps with horses. All kind of nastiness. Right? Shalom, shalom. Malakim in the building. Malakim in the building. All praises to the Most High. Kahala. Right? And then sexual intercourse with close relatives. Esau does that as well too. The incest. We can find that in Leviticus 18. Right? That's fornication. Now, again, sexual intercourse with, and it's not just a divorced woman. So, first of all, a man cannot put away his wife except for fornication, right? If he puts her away for anything other than that, and he goes and remarry, he commits adultery. So, sexual intercourse with a divorced man or a woman, that's fornication. We can find that also in the book of Mark, chapter 10, verses 11 through 12. Now, fornication also metaphorically, so I don't want to say metaphorically, but can be spiritual fornication. Spiritual fornication, the worshiping of idols. Right? Worshiping idols is fornication. Okay? So let me go back and read this again. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, right? We went over fornication. We went over uncleanliness. What is uncleanliness? Uncleanliness, you can be unclean physically, but now you can also be unclean in a moral sense, right? In a moral sense, lustful. You can be lustful. All right. There's a I can't really pronounce the word. In fact, I pulled up the definition here. It says profligate, right? Profligate, living. Profligate means recklessly extravagant or wasteful in the use of resources. Now we're going to break that down. We're going to sit with that for just one moment, right? Because we're talking about uncleanliness. So you can be unclean through recklessly extravagant or wasteful in the use of resources. What does that mean? To be recklessly extravagant means spending or using resources. Now, that's usually money, but it can be something else also. It can also apply to time. So how you spend your time. It can also apply to energy. It can also apply to possessions. Okay? So recklessly extravagant is spending or using resources in an excessive, wasteful, or careless way without concern of consequences. Let's look at reckless. Let's break that reckless down. Reckless is acting without thinking about risks, dangers, or long-term effects. Extravagant is going beyond what is reasonable, necessary, or salakia, or affordable, being lavish, excessive, or overly showing. And we see a lot of that in today's time. We see it with again the entertainers. We see it with athletes. We see it all. Go through your social media feed, and that's all it is. And now again, it doesn't just apply to money. It can also be applied to time. How are you spending your time? So how much time are you spending actually studying the word of the Most High? Because when we read in Psalms, it said that you were supposed to meditate on the word day and night. So now, if you're not even reading your Bible at all, if you can go the whole day without reading your Bible, but now you're spending your time on everything else, you're not being a good steward of your time. You're not. You're being wasteful with your time. Now, some people might say, well, no, I'm not wasteful with my time. My time is, I'm on a strict schedule. And you may be on the strict schedule. But out of that, how much time did you allot to the Creator who gave you the opportunity, who gave you the resources, who made it even possible for you to be on that strict schedule? You don't spend no time with the Most High God who made that possible, who gives you the strength, who woke you up in the morning. Because how many people die on a daily basis? How many people don't open their eyes in the morning? How many people leave their house thinking they go come home and never come home? I seen a video where a guy was in the morgue and the coroner was pulling off his socks, taking his socks off his feet. And he looks at the camera and he says, when this guy put his socks on this morning, he never thought that would be the last time that he would be putting his socks on. These are things that we don't take into account. So we can get busy throughout our day and never take no time to stop and sit and dedicate 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. Or let me do that backwards, 15, 10, 5. We can't stop and take 15, 10, or 5 minutes out of our busy days to just give thanks to the creator who made that possible. How retarded is that? Right? So we can be reckless with our time. So someone who is recklessly extravagant might, let's just look at a couple of examples. Someone who's recklessly extravagant might buy luxury art items that go far beyond their means. They can't afford it, and people do this every day. What do we call that? We call that debt. People go into debt because they can't afford it. So now we start living out our means. There was a saying that people had back in the day, keeping up with the Joneses. So now we put ourselves into all kind of debt because we want to look good for people who we don't even know. We want to high side on the gram, on Facebook. We want to look good for people who don't even know us. Looking good for these people, and we're coming home and worried about our light bill. Right? That's one example of extravagant living. Another, Salakia, living recklessly extravagant. Right? Another one is throwing away money. You could throw away money on numerous things. You could throw away money on parties. I've seen people go into debt throwing money for parties or for clothes. Going out losing your mind, buying all kind of clothes that you don't need. That's gonna hang up in your closet, that you might wear a couple times, and then that's it. Or it's experiences without budgeting. I mean, plain and simple, you're not budgeting. You ignore debts, you ignore responsibilities, and by ignoring responsibilities, you're ignoring future needs just to satisfy your immediate desires. Because what you want right now has become more important, and you throw all caution to the wind. It don't matter. I don't care if this is going to make me have to be late on my rent. Hey, I want it right now. It don't matter if now I'm going to have to start taking out loans because now I'm in debt because I can't pay this, I can't pay that. And now I'm just getting deeper in debt. Right? And then also still dealing with uncleanliness. Still dealing with uncleanliness is also impure motives. So you can be unclean because you can have impure motives. So what are impure motives? What are impure motives? Selfish ambition. That's an impure motive. Doing good works only to climb higher. You're only doing this because you want to go higher. You want to advance yourself. That's selfish ambition. You want to gain influence. That's selfish ambition. You want to outshine somebody else. That's selfish ambition. Right? That's an impure motive. Let's grab a precept. Philippians 2. Philippians chapter 2. All right? Philippians chapter 2. Philippians chapter 2, and we're going to get verse number 3. Philippians 2 and verse 3. It says, "Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory. Let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, but in lowliness of mind, let each esteem other better than themselves." Are we doing that? Are we doing that? Or are we trying to outshine the next brother? Are we trying to outshine the next sister? Going to the feast days. Oh, I want to, man, I want to be out here. Hey, man, I'm stepping. We're trying to outshine somebody. We're trying to look, you want to look the best. You want to look the best in your dress. That's selfish ambition. And what it says in Philippians, let nothing be done through strife or vainglory, worthless glory. right? So selfish ambition. What's another impure motive? Seeking human praise. When you're doing things to be praised by somebody else, when you're doing things to be praised by men, serving. How many times we see people out there filming themselves giving money to the food to the homeless? They're not doing it out of a genuine spirit just because they want to go out there and feed the homeless. They want to be seen feeding the homeless. They want to be seen giving to the homeless. Oh, did y'all see me? I did this. And then they go post it. They go put it on Facebook. They go put it on Instagram. I was giving to the homeless. I did this. I did that. You're seeking human praise or praying just to be noticed. Oh, I'm praying, but I want to make sure people see me when I pray. I want to be seen while I'm praying. You're doing it to be noticed, and you're doing it to be admired. And that goes back to having that mask on, right? Everybody want to look righteous. Everybody want to feel like they righteous. You know, we want to wear our zeets, and we want to have them hang down to our knees. We want to look righteous. We want to appear righteous. We want to appear holy. Because we want to be admired. When Yahweh told us against this, he warned us against that. So what are we doing? Right? Let's grab another precept. All praises. Nashayah. Shalom, King. Right? Matthew, let's get a precept. Matthew chapter 6. Matthew chapter 6, and we're going to get verse number 21, I think it is. No. Salakia. Matthew chapter 6 and verse 1. It says, take heed that ye do not your arms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise, ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. So Yahushua gave us the warning. He said, take heed. Don't do this just to be seen. Because if you're doing it just to be seen, you already got your reward. You already got what you're looking for. You want to get the praise of the men. You wanted to get the praise of the people who saw you. And they be like, oh man, he's such a good dude. Man, he's so righteous. No. Take heed that ye do not your alms before men to be seen of them. Otherwise ye have no reward of your Father which is in heaven. Therefore, when thou doest thine alms, do not sound trumpets before thee, as the hypocrites do in the synagogues and in the streets, that they may have glory of men. Verily I say unto you, they have their reward. So you done already got your reward. You done already got what you're looking for. You're doing it out of an impure motive. What are some other impure motives? Greed, material gain. Those are impure motives. All right? We see a lot of that today. Preaching. You look at a lot of these pastors, they're not preaching because they're trying to save souls. They're not really preaching and trying to teach the people, trying to teach the sheep, trying to lead the sheep. They're preaching because of their greed. They're preaching because they want you to give them your tithes. They want you to give them your offering. They're not worried about saving your soul. They're not worried about trying to make you into a better person. They're concerned with their pocketbook. Leading, working in ministry for money, doing all this for not to save souls, but for money, for filthy lucre. That's an impure motive. And what it say? You say, the scripture say, you shall know them by their fruits. It talked about them as being ravening wolves. Let's get a precept though. First Timothy. First Timothy, and we're going to go to chapter 6. First Timothy chapter 6. First Timothy chapter 6 and verse number 5. First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 5. It says, yeah. First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 5. Perverse disputings of men of corrupt minds and destitute of truth, supposing that gain is godliness. From such withdraw thyself. So you got a lot of people that think that gain is godliness. Oh, you living good, you eating good. Oh, that must be a godly person. Right? Must be a godly person. Godliness is a means of gain. Or they think because they're godly that they're supposed to, just it's just a means to it. Right? Impure motives. Jealousy is an impure motive. Doing something good to compete with the other person. That's jealousy. Or you're doing something good to undermine somebody. Or to outdo somebody. You're only doing it because you want to outshine them. That's jealousy. Impure motives. So these are things which, according to Galatians 1, all right, are fruits of the flesh. They're not of the spirit. Jealousy, rivalry. You want to be better than this person. Oh, I can't stand him. I can't stand her. I got to outshine her. I got to outdo her. You don't even really want to do it, but you will do it just so you can run up on them. Let's get another precept. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 15. Philippians chapter 1 and verse 15. Some indeed preach Christ, even of envy and strife. So you got some that's just preaching out of envy and strife. You got some that's preaching just because they want to be better than the next person. They want to look better than the next person. They want to outshine that next person. And that's the only reason why they're doing it. They're not really doing it because of the love they have of the Most High. They're doing it through envy and strife. That's why they're doing it. Or they envy the attention that person may get. Oh, I want that kind of attention. I want to be looked at like that. So they're doing it out of envy. Right? Jealousy. I say that's animosity. No, animosity is something a little bit different, Kara. Animosity is something a little bit different. Let me see. Let's in fact, hold on. Let's grab a definition real quick of what animosity is. All right, let's just get a definition of animosity. All right, so it might be. It says animosity. Animosity is strong hostility. All right, so animosity is strong hostility. So now that being said, can somebody do something because they have strong hostility to somebody else? They can't, right? Because you have animosity against somebody else, that might lead you to do something so that you can get credit over them, so that you can outshine them, right? Because you dislike them so much. You don't want them to get none of the shine. Here's one for you. So you like to dance. Let's say a girl has a lot of animosity against you, and you want to audition for this dance recital, and this girl dislikes you so much that she goes out and auditions just so you don't get it, just so you don't get the part, just so you don't get that dance routine. So yeah, it can be something that's done through animosity as well too, right? That's a impure motive. All right, what we're looking at right now are impure motives for doing things. All right, the last one that we're going to look at is, oh no, actually we'll look at two more. Manipulation. All right, Khan, just like, yeah, that's right, David, when he was dancing and his wife seen it. You can go to Chronicles and look up that account. And David ended up putting that woman away. He said, "Man, you know what? I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you just how vile I can be. You want to be on some shady hating type business? I'm gonna put you away." He didn't divorce her. He just stopped dealing with her, and she couldn't have no kids because he wasn't dealing with her. If she went out and tried to be with somebody else, that's adultery, and they would have stoned her. Right? So manipulation, right? Manipulation, helping or flattering someone not out of love, but to control that person, or to exploit, or to get favors in return. That's manipulation. When you do something to get something in return, you're a manipulator. If you're doing something to control somebody, you are a manipulator. Khan Adawan just put the precept in there. For anybody who don't know, go read that account. Right? Manipulation. And there's a lot of people that will try to manipulate you. And so these are things that we all need to be able to discern. But also, this is a mirror check. And forget just trying to discern. This is a mirror check. So we need to step in the mirror, look in the mirror, see if any of these stuff apply to us. Does any of this apply to me? Am I a manipulator? Am I doing anything out of jealousy? Am I doing things because out of greed, or because I have a lust for material gain, or because I want to be praised by the next man? Or am I doing something out of a selfish ambition? Why are you doing the things that you do? Why do you do the things that you do? Self-examination. What did we just go over on the Shabbat when we was reading in Second Corinthians, things chapter 10, verse 5? It says, "Examine thyself. Examine thyself to make sure that you are in the faith." And we looked up that word, what it means to examine, to inspect, right? You want to fully inspect yourself. You just have to sit with yourself, and this comes through the meditation also. As you sit and you meditate and you think about how you are falling short, you think about where you need to improve at. You think about how you need to correct things in your life. That comes through self-examination. That comes through looking at yourself. And then we got hypocrisy. Impure motive. You're acting holy while you're out on the streets. You go to your job and you got your fringes on, and you want to make sure that everybody at your job see you in your fringes. Oh, I don't do that. I'm a Jew. I don't do that. I'm an Israelite. You want to check everybody else about something. But you're corrupted on the inside. You're hiding things. Right? Let's get a preset. Let's get a preset. Dealing with hypocrisy, right? Matthew chapter 23. Matthew chapter 23 and Matthew chapter 23 and verse number 27. Matthew chapter 23 and verse number 27. It says, "Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, for ye are like unto whited sepulchres." Dang, okay. "Which indeed appear beautiful outward." So you look good on the outside. All right, you look good on the outside. You got your fringes on. You wearing your dress. You wearing your skirt. You look good on the outside. You got your head wrapped. You look good on the outside. Man, you got a righteous beard going on. You look good on the outside. You beautiful on the outside. But are within full of dead men's bones and of all uncleanliness. So you look good on the outside, but your inside is trash. You're dead on the inside. You're spiritually dead on the inside. The scribes and the Pharisees, they look good on the outside. They look good because they praying all out in the public. They doing the long prayers. They look good. It looks like you're righteous. It looks like you're holy. But what's on the inside? You rotten as hell on the inside. You're full of hate on the inside. You hate your brother on the inside. You secretly hate your brother on the inside. You can't stand your brother. You can't stand your sister. You can't stand your husband. You can't stand your wife. So you're full of dead men's bones. You walk out and it's shalom all day. But you cussing out everybody that live in your house. People don't want to be around you because they know the real you. They know your real get down. You're mean. You're nasty. If things don't go the way you want it, you showing your whole entire ass. You look good on the outside, but inside you're full of dead men's bones. You're rebellious. You're rebellious and you resist the word of the Most High God. Impure motives, right? How? You do what looks good outwardly, but inwardly, what are you doing? You're resisting the will of the Most High God. Prime example, Jonah. Jonah didn't want to do nothing. Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. Jonah didn't want to teach the people. Jonah didn't want to tell the people to repent. Jonah was mad that he had to do it. The Most High had to have him get swallowed up because he didn't want to do it. He was like, "Nah, I ain't doing it. I'm not going." So the Most High had him get swallowed up. And then, hold on, the cold thing is, after he went and did it, Jonah was so mad, he went and sat underneath a tree pouting. Rebellion. Rebellious and resistant. They say, submit to your husband. You don't want to do it. You're doing it grudgingly. You're pouting about it. You're making it known that you don't want to do it. You might cook something, but you don't want to do it. You're not doing it because you're actually listening to what the Most High God says, and says, you know what, I love the Most High God, and you know, if I'm called to submit, I'm gonna be the best submitter that's ever submitted. In short, impure motives, they twist something that looks like it's righteous into something that does not honor the Most High God. Because it's, number one, it's rooted in pride, it's rooted in greed, it's rooted in jealousy, or it's rooted in self-glory rather than love and obedience. You're doing it all for the wrong reasons. You're not doing it out of obedience and because you love the Most High God. You're doing it for the wrong reasons. So we got to use that mirror. We got to use the Bible for what it's for. Use it for the mirror that it's supposed to be, that it is. Use it as the mirror and look at the reflection. See yourself. Don't look to everybody else first. Look at yourself. What's the poem? It say, to thine own self be true. I don't know if that's a poem, if that's from a play. To thine own self be true. Don't do nothing out of jealousy. Don't do nothing out of greed. Don't do nothing out of pride. Do it because you're doing it because you love the Most High God. And you're in submission to the Most High God. I tell people all the time, when it comes to like the debate about the dietary laws, and when it comes to things such as not eating pork, and a person will say, well, yeah, you shouldn't eat pork because, you know, the pig is the garbage disposal of the earth, and the pig carries parasites, and the pig carries this, and all of that. Yes, I get it. I agree. The pig is all of that. But at the end of the day, I don't care if the pig was one of the most clean animals in the world. If the Most High God still said, don't eat the pig, I'm still not going to eat the pig. Just because the Most High God said, don't eat it. So any other reason is irrelevant. Although we can find reasons, but it's irrelevant. The first, second, third, last reason why we should not eat pork, consume pork, is because God said don't eat pork. Period. Let's get back to this. Dealing with the fruits, right? We're dealing with unrighteous fruits. We're dealing with the fruits of the flesh. Galatians chapter 5. Galatians chapter 5. I think was at verse 19. I think it may not have been. Salakia, if I'm off. But Galatians chapter 5. Where's that uncleanness? So we still in verse, we still in verse 19. Uncleanliness. That was the last one we left off at. The next one is lasciviousness. Let me read this one again. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Bayata Zabilan. Right? So Galatians chapter 19, or Salakia, Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, lasciviousness. All right, so now we're going to deal with lasciviousness. Because a lot of times, too often, we roll through these words and don't actually stop and meditate on what they are and really take it into our spirit what the Most High God is saying to us. Lasciviousness. Lasciviousness is unbridled lust. Unbridled lust. Unbridled lust means desire without restraint or control. Unbridled lust is desire without restraint or control. Now let's break that down further. Let's look at that and what that means. Unbridled. So unbridled is like a horse without a bridle. A horse without a bridle, it runs wild. It's unchecked. It's uncontrollable. That's what unbridled lust is like. It runs wild. It's unchecked. It's uncontrollable. People are just going out doing things because their lust is just taking them over. Lust is a strong craving or desire. Now, usually that's sexual in nature, usually. But it can also mean craving for money. It can be craving for power. It can be craving for food. Lust can be anything that takes the Most High God's place. Anything that takes the Most High God's place, that can be lust. So unbridled lust is when your passion or your appetite rules your life instead of the Most High Spirit and discipline. If that lust is ruling your life or controlling your life instead of the Most High Spirit or His discipline, it's unbridled. You got your desire to be successful is stronger than your desire to walk with the Most High. Let's get a precept. Hold on. The book of Genesis. Book of Genesis. The book of Genesis, chapter, I think it's, 5. The book of Genesis, chapter 5. I'm going to start at verse 21. And Enoch lived 65 years and begot Methuselah. And Enoch walked with God. Enoch walked with God. Let me read that again. And Enoch walked with God after he begot Methuselah 300 years and begot sons and daughters. And all the days of Enoch were 365 years. And Enoch walked with God, and he was not, for God took him. So your desire to be successful is stronger than your desire to walk with the Most High God or to learn the things of the Most High God. Your desire to be successful is stronger than your desire to learn the will of the Most High God. Because that's what you're concerned about. That's what takes up your time. Your time is consumed with you wanting to be successful. Your time is consumed with you wanting to look good. You spend all your time in the gym. You spend your time in the gym. You spend your time at work. You spend your time in school. You spend your time studying. You spend your time doing everything else except for reading the Word of God. And then we're not disciplined. We have no discipline, right? We really ain't following commandments. We really not keeping laws. We want to say, oh, I'm doing it to the best of my ability. But you don't even read and study the laws to even know what the laws are that you're supposed to be keeping and upholding. How often do you go through the Torah? How often do we read through the Torah to see what the laws are that we should be keeping and following? Or no, I got my fringes on, so I'm good. Oh no, I got my dress on, so I'm good. Is that it? Is that all the laws? That's all we got to worry about? Oh, you know what? I don't want to go to the feast because I don't get along with that person. All right. Moving on. We still go look at this, right? Lasciviousness. We still go deal with that. We still dealing with lasciviousness. Lasciviousness, you become a slave to your desires. You become a slave to it. You want to be successful so bad, you become a slave to it. You want to get money so bad, you become a slave to it. I like to listen to E.T., right? Eric Thomas, motivational speaker. And in one of his motivational speeches that he gave, E.T. said, you got to want to be so successful that it becomes more important to you than breathing. He said, when success is more important to you than breathing, then you'll be successful. So if success is more important to you than breathing, then it's obviously going to be more important than the word of the Most High God. Because success now has taken that pedestal. Success now is the ultimate goal. The ultimate goal is no longer the kingdom. Because you want to live good here on earth. Forget making it to the kingdom. I want to live good right now. I want to make sure that I got my cake and I want to eat it too and all that. So you become a slave to your desire. Let's get a precept. The book of Romans. Book of Romans, chapter 6 and verse number 12. Romans chapter 6 and verse 12. It says, let not sin therefore reign in your mortal body, that ye should obey it in the lusts thereof. So now you are letting your lust control you. Your lust for money is controlling you. Your lust, your lust has become unrestrained. It becomes your master. The person, you become a slave to your cravings. And it can be food, right? And you can't even fast because your lust for food is too great. You got to eat so bad that your stomach has become your God. You don't want to push away from the table at all. You're not going to miss no meal. Right? We say fast. Oh, how long we got to fast for? Are you serious? Right? What does it lead to? It leads to corruption. Lust ultimately is going to lead to corruption. Right? Ephesians chapter 4. Ephesians chapter 4 and verse number 19. Ephesians chapter 4, verse 19. Who being past feelings have given themselves over unto lasciviousness, to work all uncleanliness with greediness. Unbridled, unbridled lust blinds your heart. And the heart is the mind. Unbridled lust will blind your mind. Ultimately, it's going to take you deeper into sin. It's going to take you deeper into sin because it's unchecked. You're putting that over the Most High. Now, we get warnings, right? Romans 15:4 said everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning and our understanding. So we get the warnings. We get warnings all day long. Samson's downfall came through what? What was Samson's downfall? Samson's downfall was because he had unchecked lust. Samson's problem was he loved women. And then he ended up loving the wrong woman. And then because of his lust for that woman, what did he end up doing? He ended up telling that woman his secrets. He told that woman his secrets, and what did she do? She took his secrets and she went and destroyed him with it. Everything that was written aforetime was written for our learning. Be careful who you tell your secrets to. Because that person that you telling your secrets to, or who finds out your secrets, may use those secrets to destroy you. And you think they the closest person to you. They supposed to be the closest person to you. But they take your secrets and they try to destroy you with them. So because of Samson's unchecked lust, it cost him his strength. It cost him his freedom. Ultimately, it cost him his life. At the end of the day, it cost him his life. So it's 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh and the lust of the eyes and the pride of life is not of the Father, but is of the world. It's not of the Father, it's of the world. All those things that you lusting after, it's not of the Father, it's of the world. So we get our warnings, right? The Most High God is calling us to have self-control. Self-control. Let's get another precept. Book of Matthew, chapter 5. Matthew chapter 5 and verse number Matthew 5 and 8. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. So pure in heart, mind, because you're not being controlled by your lust. Now, desire in itself is not sin. I want to make that clear. I don't want y'all to be like, oh, we can't like nothing. We can't have desire for nothing. That's not what I'm saying. Desire in itself is not sin. All right? It's when the desire is uncontrolled. When your desire has no checks and balances to it, it becomes destructive. That's when you start falling into sin. When you start putting that over the Most High God, that's when it becomes sin. right? Let's go back to Galatians. Let's go back to Galatians. Galatians. Chapter 5. Chapter 5. And verse. Are we still in verse 19? I think we are. I don't think we dipped out of 19 yet. Galatians chapter 5 and verse number 19. Yeah, we still in verse 19. Galatians chapter 5 and verse 19. We still on lasciviousness, actually. We still on lasciviousness. I don't want to jump off the lasciviousness yet. All right, I do not want to jump off of that yet. Let's get it. Galatians chapter 5, verse 19. Now the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these: adultery, fornication, uncleanliness, and lasciviousness. I put the and in there. That wasn't in there. Right? Lasciviousness. And we're talking about unbridled lust. Now, again, unbridled lust is not just sexual. It's any uncontrolled craving that consumes your mind. That's unbridled lust. Any uncontrolled craving that you have is unbridled lust. Now let's look at this more in modern times as well, right? So of course we know that lust can be sexual sin and addiction. Case in point, pornography, right? Casual hookups. Is that not all that's going on out today? You want to test it out first? People want to see what it's like first. How many clips have I seen where women talking about they don't want no husband? Over and over, talking about their body counts. You got women out here with body counts in excess of 20. Them been with 20 different men. Casual hookups, one night stands, being driven by your desires, without the desire of being in the covenant, without the desire of being pure. You want instant gratification. Now that instant gratification, that trying, testing things out, it dulls intimacy and it corrupts the soul. It damages the soul. Soul is trash. You done been with so many different men. Your soul is trash. It's garbage. And then you get with a man. Now you're comparing. I was just looking at a reel. The woman, it was I don't know what podcast it was, but the woman was basically saying, like, if she feels unsatisfied by her dude, how does she tell her dude that she's unsatisfied by him? And the host says, and I agree 1,000%. The host says to her, he says, if you hadn't been with so many men, there wouldn't be a comparison to compare him to say, well, I feel unsatisfied. If you've only been with one man your entire life, you don't know anything else. If the only thing that I ever ate was barbecue chicken, I can never be unsatisfied by eating barbecue chicken. That's all I know. It's just barbecue chicken. Barbecue chicken. And I'm going to love it. because that's what I know. Hey, this some good barbecue chicken. But now, if Tiffany done made me some barbecue chicken, Joanna made me some barbecue chicken, and then Stacy done made me some barbecue beef ribs. Oh man, she done blew my mind with those beef ribs. Now I've got something to compare to. Now I'm like, wait a minute. When I get with Sheila, and Sheila cooks me some barbecue chicken, I'm like, this don't really taste all that. This really ain't, this ain't how I like it, right? Because now I got something to compare to. Anyhow, I went on a tangent, Salakia, for that, right? Salakia, but it damages the soul. That instant gratification, those hookups, those one night stands, those multiple relationships, it damages intimacy. It damages intimacy and it damages your soul. Now let's look at something else. Unbridled lust, greed for money and materialism. The drive to keep getting more is never enough. You want a bigger house. Well, now that house ain't big enough. You just saw oh boy, he got a 2-story, 5-bedroom, 3 bath. So now you got to have one. Oh, that's not enough. Because Sam over here, he got that, but he got a pool in his backyard. But then that's not enough. Because now you want the jacuzzi. But then that's not enough. You always want to get more. Cars, clothes. It becomes status symbols. You're never satisfied. And you always end up chasing the next thing. Let's get a preset. Let's get a preset. Because the one thing that we do, or we're supposed to do, this Bible is supposed to be our constitution. It's supposed to be what we hold to. This is our standard. This is what we hold ourselves to. This is the standard that we're trying to achieve. So if this isn't the standard, then the world has become the standard. The world has become the standard. The world is what you're comparing yourself to. You're comparing yourself to the world. You're not comparing yourself to the Bible. You're not comparing yourself to the scriptures. All right, so let's get a precept. Ecclesiastes. All right, Ecclesiastes. Chapter 5. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse number 10. Ecclesiastes chapter 5 and verse 10. It says, he that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. It's also worthless. It's also worthless. He that loveth silver will never have enough. That's why you see these people the goal is to be a millionaire. And then once they become a millionaire, they're not satisfied with that. After they get their first million, then they want their first 10 million. Then after they get their first 10 million, then they want their first 100 million. It's never enough. It's always, how can I get more? If y'all ever seen there's a video of Tupac. It's an old video. He's talking about rich people. He's all, you got rich people. They just give me more, crush. Right? I should bring that video up. I'll do it on the Shabbat when we do part 2 of this. Let's read that precept again, though. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 10. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. Right? If you love abundance, you're never going to be satisfied with how you increase. You're never going to be satisfied with getting more. Because you're always going to want more. It's never enough. When does it become enough? Never. You always want more. Oh, I want this, I want that. And the crazy thing is, wealthy people, the people who are the billionaires, they're not even happy. They miserable. You got billionaires that commit suicide. So what's the point? What's the point? Right? You can lust for power. You can lust for control. There's control freaks. People who got to be in control of everything. So you lust for influence. Hey, what do they call it now? Oh, he's an influencer. Everybody wants to be an influencer. You got people that don't got nothing to say but want to be an influencer. They have a lust for influence. They have a lust for dominance. They have a lust for recognition. You got people that want to be recognized so bad. They lust for it. They look for the recognition. They want somebody to acknowledge them. They're in all walks of life. In the workplace, we all know it. We all know that one person that just got to be seen. The one person that just got to be recognized. In politics, of course, we just seen one. I ain't gonna even say nothing, speak on that, because I don't want to get no strikes or nothing like that. It is what it is. Even in ministry, it shows up in ministry. A lust for power, a lust for control. It's about ego. It's no longer about service. It's no longer about doing the will of the Most High God. It's no longer about me. What does it say? I decrease so that he can increase. It's not about me. I don't need no praises. I don't need nobody celebrating me. I want all the glory to go to the Most High. That's who I want to be recognized by. I want the Most High to recognize me. I want on that day of judgment, I want to be told, "Well done, thy good and faithful servant." That's the recognition that I want. Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Other than that, what does recognitions do if I hear depart from me? All the recognitions on earth, there's no earthly recognition that can do me any good if I hear those words, depart from me. Forget it. It's all in vain. All right. Hey, another precept right here. Proverbs 23:4 in the GNT. Be wise enough not to wear yourself out trying to get rich. How many people are wearing themselves out trying to get money or trying to get out of debt because they put themselves in debt because they out there trying to live these lavish lifestyles? Right? Let's get another one. James chapter 3 and verse number 16. The book of James chapter 3 and verse 16. It says, for where envying and strife is, There is confusion in every evil work. When you envying, when you got that power, or Salakia, when you have a lust for power, a lust for control. All right, let's look at another one. Let's look at food. Food and overindulgence. All right, that's a lust. Unchecked cravings. What do they lead to? They lead to gluttony. It leads to unhealthy dependence on food. You got people that just eat because they're sad. You got people that what do they call that again? When you eat for something specific, comfort eating, right? Scripture, we got precepts even for that, right? Philippians chapter 3, and I hit on it earlier about you making your belly your God. Philippians chapter 3. Philippians chapter 3, and we're going to get verse number 19. Philippians 3 and 19. I'll start at 18. For many walk, of whom I have told you often, and now tell you even weeping, that they are the enemies of the cross of Christ, whose end is destruction, whose God is their belly, and whose glory is in their shame, who mind earthly things. All right. So you make your belly your God. That gives you peace. Right? That gives you comfort. Instead of the Most High giving you comfort. Instead of you getting your comfort from these scriptures. Instead of you getting your comfort from these scriptures. Right? That's why, hey, it's good to fast. Man shall not live on bread alone, but on every word that comes out of the mouth of the Most High God. Let that be what you are feasting on. When you feel like, hey, when that comfort, when those symptoms kick in, and you want to grab something and start throwing it in your mouth, man, go jump in the book. Go break out your word. All right? Technology. Social media. People have a lust for social media. And now, I fall victim to it. Well, I'll be on Facebook just scrolling. Instagram just scrolling. And I had to say to myself one day, I'm like, man, I'm spending too much time on these. And I put timers on. So now, when the timer go all off, it says, and it'll black the screen, and it'll say, oh, your time limit something has been, you've been on for, I put a time limit of 15 minutes. I said, I don't want to be on this app for more than 15 minutes out the day. And it'll let me know when I reach that 15 minutes. Now, I have to be disciplined enough not to ignore the message. I have to be disciplined enough to, hey, once my alert goes, that's it. I'm done for the day. So I'm not just on there all day long, just scrolling, looking at stupid stuff. Looking at just ignorant things. Constantly scrolling. And people do it. People will post all kind of any and everything, craving likes. The validation or comparison. They're comparing themselves. My youngest daughter, My youngest daughter said on her TikTok, she had posted something, and she was so excited because she had over 500 or something likes. And she was so excited about that. I got over 500 likes. That is not healthy. That's not healthy. When we start craving likes on social media, and now we're trying to outdo that. Oh, I got 500 likes on that one. Let me see how many likes I can get on this. It's not healthy. Because then you start comparing yourself. Then you start looking at other people's things. Well, how many likes did they get? Well, why did they get that many likes? Even in its truth. Even with brothers teaching. Even with brothers trying to spread the word. It's become a competition to see how many people go watch your video. It don't matter if only one person watches. If that one person person watches your video and they change their life, all praises to the Most High God. We got to stop competing and comparing ourselves to the next brother, to the next sister. Be you and do what the Most High God put in your heart to do. And don't do it for selfish reasons, right? Impure motives. You got to check your motives and know why you're doing it. Mirror time. Get in the mirror. Look in the mirror. Check your motives and know why you're doing what you do. The lust for attention can become just as addictive as lust for pleasure. And that's why men will have a problem, and women too. Men and women both have problem with pornography, because of the chemicals that's released in their brain. And then that leads to what? That leads to masturbation. Because of those chemicals that get released. Attention is just as addictive. People become attention whores. They become attention seekers. Why are you doing what you're doing? Look at your motives. Right? Look at yourself. Look in the mirror. What's the mirror? This is the mirror. Hold that mirror up to yourself. And you should know that it should be beat up. I got pages falling out. The spine is torn, ripping. This thing is beat up. If it's crisp and you don't got no need to replace it, you're not using it. The tool is going to waste. Like dopamine, there it is. The water. Right? Dopamine. Hey, get your dopamine from reading this word. Let the word be what gives you that dopamine. Right? But we got to get away from that lust for attention. Let's grab another precept here real quick. I think the brother pulled it out earlier. But let's go to 1 John. I think you called it earlier. 1 John chapter 2. 1 John chapter 2 and verse 16. Yeah, this is it. Same. The brother called this precept earlier. I'm going to read it again. Right? Because we got to stop with the attention seeking. We got to stop with the attention seeking. 1 John chapter 2, verse 16. For all that is in the world, the lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. We got to get away from the attention seeking. We got a precept. Lamentations chapter 3 and verse 40. Let us search and try our ways. Hey, we got to search and we got to look at ourselves. We got to look at how we are. You know, sometimes I'll tell somebody, I'll be like, man, you got some faulty ways. You got some faulty ways. I can look at myself and be like, man, I got some faulty ways about me. I got things that I got to correct, that I have to work on. But it's not enough to just be like, man, yeah, I know I'm jacked up here, man. I'm messed up here. Okay, so now you know, put in the work to change it. Put in the work to change it. Don't stay messed up. But now again, to put in the work to change it, what do you got to do? You got to meditate, you got to study, you got to read, you got to pray, you got to fast. We got to do all these things, especially if you're dealing with spirits. Because some spirits only go out by prayer and fasting. So you want to change, you got to use the tool that's going to affect the change. And then it says, let us search and try our ways and turn again to the Lord. Turn to the Most High God. Look at how you messed up. Look at, man, yeah, I'm messed up here, man. My attitude is messed up here. Man, yeah, you know what I do? I seek attention too much. I'm out here trying to get everybody to like me. I want everybody to say nice things about me. I want to be the life of the party. Everywhere I go, I search and try our ways, and then turn to the Most High God. Turn to the Most High. So that comes through meditation, meditating on His Word. You're not meditating if you're not reading, if you're not studying, if you don't take no time out of your day to spend 15 minutes in the Word of the Most High God. How are you going to change? If you're not praying throughout the day, how are you going to change? If you're not fasting, how are you going to change? Now it's just lip service. It sounds good, but you really not trying to put in the work to change the person that you are. It sounds good though. It look good. Hey, yo, you beautiful on the outside. Hey, man, you look the part, but inside you're full of dead men's bones. You got to put in the work, right? You got to put in the work. We got another precept. Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 26. It says, ponder the path of thy feet. Ponder. You know, you got to think about the path of your feet. Think about the direction that you're going. Think about the direction that you're headed. Focus on it. And let all thy ways be established. 2 Corinthians, one of my favorite scriptures. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves. Examine. Again, let's get the definition of examine. We got to get that definition of examine. This is probably my favorite scripture. Right? Examine. Examine means to inspect something or someone. Inspect. What is when you inspect something? Hold on. Let's get inspect. Look at someone or something closely. Right? You're looking at it close, and you got that magnifying glass out. You know, I think about, like, I clown people sometimes when they be doing the most. I'll be like, man, I like, what, you think you inspect a gadget or something? But that's what I think about when like inspect, or what was that, Dr. Magoo or whatever it was, that little cartoon character with the magnifying glass, right? They're always walking around inspecting something. Yo, you supposed to take that magnifying glass and go out and inspect, right? So when you examine, again, 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5, examine yourself. You're supposed to inspect yourself. And it say examine your partner. And it say examine your best friend. And it say examine the person that live across the street from you. It said to examine yourself. Examine yourself. Whether ye be in the faith, whether you're in the faith, you got to examine yourself to make sure, nigga, are you in the faith? Hold on, you out here checking everybody else, but are you in the faith? I got to examine myself, and while I'm out here trying to preach and teach to everybody else, I myself am become a castaway. I myself don't even make it. At the end of the day, after all of this preaching and teaching and standing on corners and hollering and yelling and hooping and all of that, after I done all of that, I myself am a castaway because I didn't take the time to examine myself. You got all these pastors out here who are not examining themselves. They teaching about money, how to get money, how to gain money, and this, that, and the third. It becomes, it's all about luxury. Everybody want to have their heaven down here on earth. But the scripture says, through much tribulation, we enter into the kingdom. Not saying that you can't have nothing. Not saying that you can't have no nice things. But that should not be the end all be all. That's not what we living for. Right? Because where your heart is, that's your mind. Where your heart is, your treasure is also. So our focus is on what? Our focus is on the kingdom. That's what our focus is supposed to be on. Our focus should be on making it to the kingdom. Right? And how do we do that? We do that because we are examining ourselves. And this is a daily thing. It's a daily task. You got to examine yourself every day. You got to be in these scriptures, meditating on these scriptures every day. That's what the book said. I didn't say it. I ain't say you got to meditate on it every day. Hey, but just to use a boxing or an athletic analogy, right? You get better. We get better at what? What makes us better? When I was boxing, I became better at it because I did it every day for hours on end. Every day, I'd get on that heavy bag and I would throw thousands of jabs, just focusing on throwing a jab. When I'm shadow boxing, throwing a jab. Jab, jab. I'm moving, focusing on moving, and then jab, moving. For 3 rounds, I'm not doing nothing else but jabbing and moving. Jabbing and moving. To do what? To make it habit. To make the movement habit. To make it natural. To make it come natural to me. So I no longer have to think about it. It's natural. It's a reflex. It's just something that I do. Then after hours of rounds of throwing the jab, then I'm throwing a 1-2. Rounds of not throwing no other punch. Just 1-2, moving. 1-2, moving. Right? It's rounds of that. So it's the same thing. Right? If you want to become stronger, closer, you want to walk with the Most High God, you've got to spend time with him. Your walk is not going to get better. Your walk is not going to get stronger if you're not spending time with the Most High God. If you're not spending time in prayer, if you're not spending time reading, if you're not spending time meditating, it is not going to happen. It's not a light switch that you just turn on and turn off. Okay, today I'm going to be a super brute. No, you have to do it. You have to put in the work. And you have to look at yourself. You have to examine yourself. Examine is inspect. Inspect someone or something in detail. You have to look at yourself in detail. You got to look at all your flaws. You got to look at the parts of you that's ugly. You have to look at the parts that you don't want to talk about. You got to look at the parts that you don't like. You got to look at your attitude. You got to look at how you respond to things. You got to look at those things that trigger you and cause responses that may affect somebody else. You got to look at those things. You have to examine yourself. You got to say, why am I acting like this? Do I have cause? Do I have reason? Examine yourself. Look at yourself. Let's get the definition. Examine. Inspect someone or something in detail to determine their nature, or condition. Investigate thoroughly. That's what examining yourself is. To determine your nature, to determine your condition. I'm going to investigate myself thoroughly. I'm going to look at the good, the bad, the ugly, the parts I don't like, the parts that I want to hide, the parts that I don't want to tell people about. And then hopefully, I'll have a brother or I have a sister or I have someone who I can trust that I can go to and I can talk to and I can confide in them. And I can know that that person is going to take the things that I confide in them and I talk to them about and go and be like, ooh, and start gossiping. And you know what I heard about them? I want to be that for somebody else. I want to be that for a brother. I want to be that for a sister who knows that they can come and talk to me and confess to me and tell me about something. And I can say, you know what? Let's pray about that. You know what? Let's get in this book. You know what? Let's fast about that. I want to be that. So this is all that part of examining yourself, right? To make sure that you are in the faith. Let's read it again. 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Are you in the faith? You think you're in the faith. Hey, but when you go get in front of your house, what is he going to say? Is he going to say, depart from me, I never knew you? What is he going to say? Right? This is why we have to examine ourselves, because it's going to be what? It's going to be many are going to say in that day, Lord, Lord, didn't I do this? Lord, Lord, didn't I do that? And he going to say, nah, partner, I don't know you. 10 feet. Right? Hey, cast this joker into outer darkness. Get this joker up out of here. All right, 2 Corinthians 13:5. I'm sorry, I got a little passionate. 2 Corinthians 13:5. Examine yourselves, whether ye be in the faith. Prove your own selves. Prove, test. You have to test yourself to see, am I really in this? Hey, sometimes, the test is going to come naturally. Right? How you going to respond? How you going to respond to someone saying something out of pocket? Right? They come up, they might say something slick. How you going to respond? What are you going to do? Huh? What are you going to do? Go keep on moving. Prove your own selves. Know ye not your own selves, how that Yahushua HaMashiach is in you, except ye be reprobates. Man, I love that scripture. One of my favorites. We got another one. Hey, it's a precept party. All praises, Allah. Psalms 139 and verse 24. Psalms 139 and verse 24. And see if there be any wicked way in me. Is there any wicked way in me? Yo, get it out. Whatever, purge me. Purge me with hyssop. Right? Make me white as snow. In fact, let me grab that verse. Psalms 51. Psalms 51. Salaki. Hey, we've been rocking for a minute. We're gonna get ready to shut down. We'll do the rest part 2. All right, Psalms 51. Well, let's finish reading the precept that the Gamwan called first. Psalms 139:24. And see if there be any wicked way in me, and lead me in the way everlasting. Lead me in the way everlasting. That's what I want. That's what we all should want. Is to be led in the way everlasting. All right, let's get it. Psalms 51. One of my favorite. I keep saying these are my favorite. Hey, this whole book is my favorite. Just some just jump out more to me than others. You know what I'm talking about? All right, Psalms 51. and we're going to get verse number. Let's get verse 9. Let's start at Psalms 51 and 9. Actually, I mean, you really could read the whole chapter. You should read the whole chapter. If y'all ain't read Psalms 51, read Psalms 51. All right. It's a beautiful, beautiful chapter. Psalm 51, verse 9. Hide thy face from my sins and blot out all mine iniquities. Create in me a clean heart, O God, and renew a right spirit within me. Cast me not away from thy presence, and take not thy Holy Spirit from me. Hold on, we gotta jump up. Salakia, we should have jumped up. Verse 6. Behold, thou desirest truth in the inward parts, and in the hidden part thou shalt make me to know wisdom. Purge me with hyssop, and I shall be clean. Wash me, and I shall be whiter than snow. All right? That's what I want. Lead me in the way of everlasting. Wash me, purge me, clean me up. Clean me with hyssop. Wash me so I can be whiter than snow. But y'all thinking the Most High is a genie, and it's gonna happen. I'm just gonna wake up and I'm gonna be this new person. No, it takes work. It takes effort. It takes work. It takes effort to change, to become that new person. Unbridled lust is letting your desire drive you instead of the Most High God's Spirit. That's what unbridled lust is. What's driving you is your desire rather than the Most High God. When there is no boundaries, the cravings enslave. They enslave you rather than they satisfy you. When there's no boundaries. And it can look different. It can be sex. It can be money. It can be power. It can be food. It can be attention. But the root is all the same. Regardless of whatever it is, the root of it is the same. It's that appetite that's not checked by self-control. You don't have no discipline. And you're letting that be your God instead of you seeking after the Most High. Right? Now, overcoming. We want to talk about overcoming. And I'm going to, for the Sabbath, I'm actually going to have a chart. I have a chart. If anybody wants a chart, you can shoot me an email and I'll get the chart to you. For purposes, notes purposes, or just to have something to go back and reflect on. I'll have that chart up, and just drop a message in the chat, and or just put your email in the chat, and then I'll be able to send that chart over to you. But I'll have that chart by the Sabbath. All right, and in fact, we're gonna get ready to actually shut things down. We give all praise to the Most High God. All praises to the Most High God for his teaching, for his correction, for his wisdom. Unbridled lust makes self-master. Unbridled lust makes self-master, and it really leaves a person empty. When you have unbridled lust, you are going to be empty because it's never going to be enough. You're never going to have enough of what it is that you're lusting for. We have to learn to be spirit-led. Our desires should be spirit-led. When they're spirit-led, we are putting the Most High God first. And what is that going to bring? That's going to bring us peace. Ultimately, that's going to bring us peace, right? A peace that surpasses understanding. That's going to give us a fulfillment. It's going to give us a fulfillment that these other things that people lust after does not bring. The difference is not the desire itself, but the difference is who is in control. Is the flesh in control, or is the spirit in control? What's controlling you? What's leading you? Are you being led of the flesh, or are you being led of the spirit? Khan, all praises to the Most High. All praises to the Most High. And so, with that, hey, the water for everybody that tuned in. The water, call halal. And all glory to the Most High God. You know how we do. We go close out. We go rock it out with some music. And man, we went late. But yeah, enjoy the rest of your night, man. Y'all have a peaceful night, and I'll see everybody on the Shabbat for part 2. Shalom.
Got you, babe. When the world grows cold and gray, and they try to strip your strength away, babe, I'll be right here every single day, with my love to light your way. When your mind feel like it's spinning, think you're losing what you're winning, you just fall right into me. I'm your sanctuary, baby. Ooh, yes. I'll be your peace. When they throw dirt on your name, I'll speak. When you're bent but not broke, baby, I'll hold your hope. Right here standing with your crown. When the world try to break you down, oh, let your burdens release. Come on home to me. I'll be your peace, your peace. I'll be. You ain't gotta fight alone. kiss your wounds when the world breaks you down. Do